Hej Kurt.
Velkommen til XM3, et udstillingssted her i Aalborg Øst, lige ved siden af Trekanten. Faktisk, Trekanten ligger lige herovre på den anden side af vejen, hvor jeg så har taget folk med over i dag, fordi jeg synes, det ville være super lækkert også at vise noget af det andet kultur, der foregår ude i Aalborg Øst. Der er åbning på det her udstilling, som er lavet af Malte Steiner, som I nok hører lidt om fra lige om et øjeblik, hvor at den hedder, hvad var det? Det er en udstilling omkring power dynamics og sådan nogle ting, som Malte Steiner har, men det tror jeg, Malte Steiner kan forklare meget bedre end mig. Så jeg håber, at I vil nyde det og komme ud og se det her. Det er lige over ved siden af Trekanten, og håber, I vil komme forbi. Det er et fantastisk sted, XM3, fordi det er frivilligt drevet af ildsjæle, og ikke noget, der har særlig stor støtte, men en af de eneste steder, at kunstnerne kan komme til i Aalborg til at ligesom lave og udstille deres egen kunst. Så kom herned, giv det et kig og se, hvordan det er.
I'm here with Malte Steiner, and you are here with your art exhibition. Can you tell us a bit about what is the whole idea about this room we're in right now?
Yes, this is an exhibition. It's the first one of my art project called Absolute Power. And Absolute Power, I reflect about power structures in politics, but also in society, how people establish power and how they maintain power, and that's the idea. And originally it was more about private society power and a little bit politics, but then in February the war started in Ukraine, and then the war made a little bit more significant role for this exhibition, which I wanted to do for a later chapter of Absolute Power. I mean, Absolute Power, the topic gives you so much ideas, so there will be several chapters of this exhibition.
Yeah, so what do you think about when you think about the word or like the phrase absolute power?
It's terrifying, so it's absolutely terrifying, and actually I hate people who seek power in any case. So the term was inspired by Trump, who claimed in 2020 that he has absolute authority, which he has not, so by constitution in USA. And but this is the way how politicians like Trump or Boris Johnson in UK saw themselves and having the absolute power. And it's just totally ridiculous and silly, because it's not. And but that's what they at least aim for.
So that makes me think about the word corruption and power together. And there's this old phrase, right?
It always goes together.
Yeah. So there's this famous phrase, right? That absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely.
So what do you think about that? How can you reflect upon that?
It fits in here. So I have not so much about corruptions in this chapter, so I will think about that. But it's the subtitle of the exhibition is From Initiation Rites to World War, and it's also about the initiation rites people do, like young men doing at the army, at the military, or at, for instance, at elite boarding schools. There was some incident in Denmark, but also at Eton or Oxford University. There was some, it's called Piggate with Cameroon in 2015, so that's why we have a lot of pigs here. So there's a significance also, and that's how also makes a bounding between these young men who then make career, and then they could also blackmail each other. So.
Oh, that's quite interesting. So maybe to switch up a little bit, you find yourself here in Aalborg. So how is that story like?
I moved from I'm German, but I moved from Berlin to Aalborg. So for several reasons. So and to have a calmer place and a place to work, and also having a Danish partner. So that everything came together. But at the moment I'm living between Aalborg and Helsinki in Finland.
Okay.
So going back and forth.
That's quite a trip.
Yes.
So, is there anything else you want to leave the viewers of your art with? A feeling, or maybe?
I mean, this is a tough exhibition, so it makes you feel uncomfortable. So I'm sorry about that, but the topic is important, and it's also important to transport it in art. And I combine. I'm now in the age I could do that, so I combine electronic arts with traditional arts like painting, airbrush, and get the best of both worlds. So that's very important for me to transport also the meaning. So the artworks work on several levels. So you can perceive it on the surface, but you can also spend some time and start to think about it, and getting provoked to think about a little bit more about these topics.
And what does the future hold for you? Is there anything you have in mind already with?
As I said, I will continue with the works. I will do a second chapter, so it will take a year at least to build that. So until then, I will try to have that exhibition in several spaces. So wherever I can do that, and this is the main thing. So, but I'm also a musician, so also some concerts are planned, and so it's always busy.
Yes, it's nice to be creative.
Exhausting, I have to say. So, but as an artist, you have no choice. It is you have to do it. So it's literally you wake up in the morning and you say, I have to build a trunk robot. So there's no choice about it. That is the essence of being an artist.
All right. Well, thanks for the little conversation here.
Thank you for that. All right. So here we have on 2 canvas airbrush the work "Do Combat Drones Dream of Raping You?" And that is not only a play on the title of the famous Philip K. Dick novel, but it's also about, we have technology promise that we have a fair war. Interestingly, by taking out the human factor. And but is it really like that? So because robots like for instance Boston Dynamics construct could use as the next kind of soldier, and maybe they are more precise in killing and targeting. So, but they have no mercy on their from themselves. So, and they do what they are programmed to. So, and so they could be also trained to torture. You never know. So the next thing is liberated architecture. It's I have several works of liberated architecture. This is part 3. It combines several pictures from destruction in Ukraine, creates these kind of electronic drawings on the e-paper. And liberated architecture, you could call it cynically maybe, but the idea is there's always a narration when a country invades another country that they have to liberate something or someone or whatever, so like we see now in Russia and Ukraine. And the question is, what do they want to liberate? And when they destroy everything, also like Syria, so then there's nothing left, nothing is liberated. So and then everything is rubbish. So what is left over, like here? So this is liberated architecture number 2. And over there we see in a moment a little sculpture called liberated architecture. And here have an airbrush. Here we have an airbrush image called the Soldier Rites, and it's about the initiation rituals of young men. For example, at military, it involves a cookie. Enough said, I don't go into details. And here's an painting of Eton, as a boarding school, which provides a lot of prime ministers in the UK. So, and of course, they have their own fair share of initiation rituals and bonding between the young men together. So that's why Eton has to be here.
here's some interesting works which derives from the work which we'll see later over there. And it's about one thing of power is to change the history and the narration and rewrite history. So changing photographs and taking out pictures is as old as photography themselves. So, for instance, Lenin did that. No, Stalin did that with pictures of politicians he didn't trust anymore, and then faked them out of the picture a long time ago. So, but still, it's interesting for me to create a software which can do that automatically. And I created a software which randomly took pictures, downloaded pictures from Wikipedia, and then find with machine learning people in the pictures and erase them, take them out. And the results, the best results are then I paint oil on canvas to give it a new meaning and a new reality to get the back. And two results we see here: rewriting history, a musician from Mexico called Armando Manzanero. And here he's originally pictured sitting in an auditorium, and then the algorithm takes him out, and then only the auditorium is left over, and that is a picture. So it's basically an empty picture. So, and these little displays show the process, how it's done. Here we have a picture of a manager, and I didn't give him very big canvas, so I like to explore different formats and to always push the envelope. So and this is the main work here, and this is about there you can see results in real time taken from Wikipedia and finding people in there and taking them out of the picture. So, and also censor the text and taking out the keyword. So, and the interesting thing, it's totally unsupervised and automatic, and that is the new aspect. So I told it has been done since decades, but now we can do it with machines, totally unsupervised, automatic, and that's the scary part. So, because then you can do it on a very big scale and really rewrite perceived history. I'm not sure if you can film in there. There's flickering lights and dog barking. It's called Panic Room, and it's really can give you a feeling of anxiety and panic. And there's also a display in there, and the display shows flickering the signs. There's no reason to panic, and that's how I feel when I watch news or read news. So because as we all, I get anxiety attacks, and then I'm afraid and whatnot. So, but then I'm supposed to stay calm. So how is that going to work? So I don't know. So that's why we have a panic room. You can have a sneak peek in it. So, but. So here's a short work, Hügge über alles. It's nice that Denmark has the concept of Hügge. In Germany, there's no concept of Hügge. In Germany, there's always industry, economy. That is the important thing. It's nice that Denmark has the concept of private life and relax and family, etc. So that's a good thing. But it can be also a little bit too much. And the question is like, is it also Hügge for immigrants, or is it only for Danish people? I don't know. So that's why Hügge über alles. Here we have the Oxford riots, and that's about the Piggate 2015. UK's then Prime Minister David Cameron had, when there was some details about initiation rights from Oxford University in his past, so involving a pighead. Enough said. Here's, I already mentioned that the sculpture liberated architecture. Actually, it's the first of the series thing. We took it backwards, so, but it's not so important. So actually, it was, I can tell you, it was just leftovers from 3D printing, the supports, and then I suddenly saw the architecture. It was like a happy accident, and so, and then I made that. Hier we have schnell versteckt eure Frauen, hurtig or hurry, hide your woman. There's cases in war situations where women faked with makeup contagious diseases to avoid being raped by soldiers. I think there was cases in Africa, but also in World War II. So, and it's quite clever, if you ask me. So, and terrible, of course. This is Waldfund, which also suggests not good happenings. And here we have, so this is more the private sector, kind of, or the family, or, or society. So this is a RR15, and actually that was the first work of Absolute Power. I painted that in 2019, all on canvas. The RR15 rifle is the most used rifle for mass shootings and amok, especially in USA, and it's kind of iconic. I mean, these young men, it's always men, they don't feel to have any power and any choice, so then they take the final choice to destroy other people and then kill themselves. So, and this is really the loss of power and a way of perspective or future, and then to decide to kill others. So, and yeah, the RR15 seems to be the very preferred gun. And now finally we got here the work. It's called Impotence and Power. And it's inspired by Trump, who claimed in 2020 on a press conference in the White House that he has absolute power, absolute authority, he said, which is not true. It's not in the Constitution. But this is the way how the politicians seems to think, or at least politicians like Trump or Boris Johnson. And I took the recording and I created these robotic heads, and it has now this spastic, glitched version of that sentence. And then you have here, especially German politicians love that the pointing finger. So always talking down is very important for Germans. I can tell you I have inside information. No, but so this is about, for me, it's about the impotence of politicians. So they only want to have power and then not have they don't take responsibility. So, but it's also about the questionable relationship to even to their own sexuality, and especially in the case of Trump. So what is known is quite upsetting. So, and of course this influences their politics, but it's also their aim for why they want to have power. So because maybe they can't love in a, let's say, traditional way. So, and for sure they're not famous for being very empathic. So that was, yeah, I think that was it. Thank you.